Spectacular, spectacular, Spider-Man, spectacular. Marvel's Spider-Man. Now I realize that I've never actually reviewed a game on the channel. I've talked about some games, but I've never sat down and told you what I liked or didn't like about a game. So let's do that with the most highly anticipated game of 2018. And after all the waiting, all the hype, all the excitement, does it live up? Well, just between you and me. Just come closer. A little closer. Absolutely. Now, I just want to get into the story a little bit here. I'm not going to spoil it here for you because I understand how I would feel if somebody spoiled it for me before I got to play the game. So I'm going to keep it vague for you because I take pretty good care of my audience. That being said, the story in this game is phenomenal. The characters and the way that they interact together, the direction that the story goes into, the way it's actually able to cleverly subvert your expectations. The world feels lived in and it all comes to you through dialogue and character interactions. It's so well done. I love it. I love that we've got an experienced Spider-Man here that's not just making these rookie mistakes. He knows what he's doing, but at the same time, he's a very vulnerable person. So that does lead him into a lot of issues that he wouldn't have if he was a cold-hearted, terrible monster. Mr. Negative is a great villain. At a certain point, another villain shows up that you're like, oh, I kind of saw this coming, but it's here. And once that happens, that character is like amazing in every possible way. I love the direction that story takes. Once that part happens, you've seen it in the trailers, once the Raz breakout happens, the story goes in a completely new way, and it's like, sure, I usually hate when you do this to me, but this is awesome. I'm loving it. Let's do this. I will also say, I was right about some of the characters that I said need to be in the game. Just go back and watch that video. Make some guesses as to who I got right. Now let's talk about gameplay because that's what makes a game. This is the most intuitive combat system, swinging system, anything I've ever seen in a Spider-Man game. I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way right now. I know people are going to be comparing it to the Arkham games. I know people are going to be comparing it to Spider-Man 2. The swinging outdoes Spider-Man 2 in every possible way. And the combat is way more well thought out than in any of the Arkham games, especially Knight. The free flow isn't as bouncy and magnetic as it is in the Arkham games, and I like that because you actually have to work to get those combos. But once you get the hang of the combat down, you'll be chaining 50 times combos in no time. You might even get yourself a couple of 100 times combos if there's enough enemies for that. Another thing that really helps is that by just doing things in the game, you earn tokens, and you use certain tokens to craft suits, and those suits, you can add mods to them to suit your playstyle, and you can also get a suit power that can suit your playstyle. So you have all these different options. You also can craft different web shooter gadgets. You can upgrade those. You have all these different ways that you can make your Spider-Man OP. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be indestructible. Sure, you get health upgrades throughout the game, but at a certain point when the Sable Guards show up and you have to start fighting those guys, it starts getting really difficult, and it's because of a mechanical issue that I've run into quite a lot. This is one of my biggest flaws with the game. One of the things that this game relies heavily on is when you're about to be attacked, of course, you get your spider sense and you're supposed to press circle to evade. Sometimes there's so much going on screen, you can't see the faint little lines around the head. Also, there's times where it won't show up at all and you'll just get hit by somebody that's off screen, and that's really not fun. But when the Sable guys show up, the combat actually gets a lot harder because some enemies are immune to web, things like that. Some of them are just completely broken. But I actually like that it gets more challenging. Does it border on obnoxiously difficult? Sure. Is that a bad thing? No, it's not really a good thing either. It's just a thing that's there. Another thing I want to say, great performances across the board. Every person that's voice cast does an outstanding job, but the standout in my mind is Yuri Lowenthal. His Spider-Man voice feels familiar. You'll think you've heard it before, but it's actually completely unique. It just fits what Peter Parker and Spider-Man are, and it's like, yes, you know what? This is how Spider-Man should sound from now on. And I also found out that they recorded the dialogue twice in certain areas, so where it's like, if you're standing still, he'll sound one way, and if you're swinging around, he'll sound a different way. I love that attention to detail. Insomniac didn't have to do that, but they went the extra mile for us because they care about us. I also want to say there's a lot of portions of the game that require you to use stealthy prowl around. A lot of people don't like that. I actually really like it. It's a nice little organic way to slow the game down, make you actually learn how to play rather than just mash square, because it's like, hey, I mean, Spider-Man, let's do this real quick. I'm not going to cut this out. Spider-Man is really quick, and, well, I have to now. Or maybe not. Moving on. Spider-Man's really quick, and he's really, powerful and dangerous, so it's like, I can one-hit these guys and get right back up to my perch. And it's also really cool to be like, there's webs, oh, Lord, Spider-Man's here. Another thing I'll say is that unless you're like me and you're trying to 100% the game, I'm at like 91% in-game and well, bless me. I don't remember what my trophy percentage is, but I've only got like 4 missing, so 40 hours of gameplay plus I only have 4 trophies I need to get. Total that up in your head. But not all of the content in the game is worth exploring. I do like the landmarks. I like taking pictures of things. It helps you get a little bit of a feel for the Marvel universe that this takes place in. There's like Black Panther, the Avengers, Doctor Strange, Matt Murdock, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones Easter eggs all over the place, and it's really cool. Another thing I really liked is the backpacks, because every time you get a backpack, there's a little thing in it from Peter's past. Helps you find out exactly what kind of world we live in the Spider-Man game. It's like, oh, I fought this person before. This happened to me. You even get to see the name Eddie Brock, and I really appreciate that because set up for a sequel. Do that. Yes. This game's sequel baits, and I will talk more about that in my spoiler review on the game that goes up Friday, where I talk all about the plot. And one last thing on the plot, towards the end, the ending of this game gives you all the feelings that you should feel at the end of a superhero epic. You're feeling relief and catharsis and anger and happiness and sadness and pain. It's like, I don't know how you got this out of me. I just don't understand. Insomniac needs to make all superhero games going forward. Guys, in the end, this video is running way too long, so it's time to go ahead and throw this thing into the rating system. Spider-Man on PS4, Insomniac, Marvel Spider-Man is absolutely spectabulous. Or maybe it should be spectacular, or amazing, or ultimate, or friendly. We'll figure that out. But Marvel Spider-Man, have you played it? What did you think about it? Whatever it is, whatever you think, comment below and educate me. And if you like what you've seen here and you want more videos from me, well then you know what to do.